I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first order of business is approval of the minutes from the April 23rd, 2026 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Just a correction,
Okay.
Commission Ember was not present. Did you catch that?
Pardon me?
Did you catch the commissioner that wasn't present is noted in the call to order? Section 1, okay. Other than that,
So yeah, just the few minor changes that we had mentioned. Okay, moving right along. Any commission member comments? None recognized. Committee. Radio committee is first. We have met with Fleet Talk and Palmetto 800. And they presented, the radio committee and other people who were there, why their systems were so great. We're taking that into advisement. And we mentioned at the law enforcement meeting the other night that we would suggest that a request for proposal for a radio engineering company not affiliated with any manufacturers be hired to do a study before any more money is put into the radio system. Mike, is this a good time? Do you want to present that June 1st change in
Sure.
radio operation? Thank
We're
you.
looking at, for the rescue calls, since we're having some issues with the rescue channel, brought up at the, fire commission, we brought it up at the chiefs meeting, rescue chiefs. I'm gonna bring it to the fire chiefs as they meet this coming week. On rescue calls, since we're having a problem with rescue channel picking up, dispatch hearing each other, thinking about taking it to digital one, any rescue call. And then you need, just like they're with Station 21's first do, where they get dispatched and they go on air on Digital 2. We're gonna do that for the rescue calls. You go on air, go to Digital 1, and hopefully have a really good communications with the dispatcher. So, we're still working on it. Maybe it was talked about going June 1st, but getting with the fire chiefs, making sure everybody's on board, because they'll be switching since there will be one command, on rescue related calls, medical calls, and then getting with dispatch. It may be June-ish, so this is what we're looking at. Make sure everybody's being heard and messages are getting out back to the people that need to hear.
question on that. The special rescue team, when they're doing search and rescue, I thought they used Digital 1. Would that be a potential conflict? I mean, we're coming into the season. And if it is, that's fine. I just wonder if they're still using it.
Most of the time they're using it, we'll have digital channels available, but you're looking at 3 calls a month compared to 450 to 500 calls a month, which are regular rescue calls.
Okay. And when those things occur, we'll just have to be flexible.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question, Mike. Is fire also switching over to this new procedure?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
With the chiefs. It makes sense, since they're gonna be in command, that anybody going to that call would be on the same channel as command.
Okay, thank you.
Is it okay to ask now? I had asked that we talk about any type of update. What was found with the rescue repeater? Is it serviceable, not serviceable, or problems with it, or?
Look to your left.
Hey, what's going on with the rescue repeater?
They've been made aware at dispatch.
Okay.
So there's lots of variables, but until it's fixed or until they call us, we won't know. So,
Gotcha. But a service technician's been out looking
Yes.
at it, or? Okay,
Yes.
that's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, Scott, Budget Committee? Scott and Amber?
As far as the Budget Incentive Committee is concerned, we plan to meet towards the end of June for our second quarter meeting. We haven't set the date yet, but that's our plan, is to meet sometime at the end of June.
Scott, Chair, do you have any additions?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And SOG Committee does not have representation tonight? Do you
Steve,
know
it
of
was
any?
sent out to everybody for comment. I'm not sure what Brady got back on some. There will be a little bit of changes due to the fact of new director. So,
Special Rescue sent some recommendations.
Yes,
okay.
and I think Rescue 4 sent in some, Rescue 5 sent in some.
So what's the timeline for the SOG at the moment? Like, what's the, do we have, I mean, I know that people are currently sending in comments. I had received some from Special Rescue as well and sent them forward. What's the timeline as far as like gathering those comments and looking at them and then sending out like maybe a second revision? Do you have an idea of like what that's gonna look like?
I know that Brady wants to do this as soon as possible to get them into operation,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure of the dates that he's heading at. It soon though.
Okay. Do we have an idea of what the process is gonna look like as far as like the SOG committee's gonna create like a second revision or third revision or whatever? And then that's gonna go to Richie, I assume? Or how is that gonna work?
I assume we're gonna do it the same way. We'll get a document going, and then we'll go to the rescue chiefs and the commissioners, and then get voted on by those two organizations.
Okay,
Mike, is that?
Seems like that's the way it would go.
okay.
Okay. Training committee, Christie?
Training committee didn't meet, but I wanted to ask, McCarroll, you said you were gonna get together with the training coordinators. Is that still underway?
I need to get, a better list of some of the ones that are no longer with us, so we'll get that out to the chiefs. And it'll probably be, we'll have our meeting for the next quarter.
Okay.
Okay. Mike Carroll, you have the floor.
All right, good evening, everybody. Like I said, we have a new director, Richie Caldwell, most people know him. Introducing him, on board now, he's a little over a week and a half, and diving into a lot of stuff. So I was wanting to get him on board. He was at the chiefs meeting, rescue chiefs meeting last, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. And he's up part on the SOG, so we're moving right along. All right, rescue squad run report.
Do you have anything to say, or you?
Well,
Yeah, come on up.
I just wanna say, I'm here, week and a half, 2 weeks in, it's been a flurry of, information. And I know y'all are working on SOGs, I haven't seen any of those, I got about 6 of them handed to me today from the fire side. So I'll be looking at those too, and I know y'all's are probably being revised from, I don't know, I was guessing 8 or 10, 12 years ago.
2014.
Yeah, whenever we get them, the biggest thing I ask is make sure everybody has an opportunity to look at them and everybody's on board with them, and I think it's great that y'all are redoing them. I've been involved where I took some over that were from 2006. A lot of stuff changes over the years, so, So making sure those are done right is great. I know that one of the things I inherited when I got here, which I've been dealing with it for 18 years between Kiowee and Seneca, is radio system. Me and Sheriff Crenshaw have had some great conversations. We've talked, me and Zach have talked. I've got a meeting next week, going to look at sites next week with a radio deal. We have made it a priority, county council has made it a priority, and I feel like that we're on the right track right now. It all comes down, everybody knows, no matter what system we go to, it's gonna have to work everywhere. We want it to work everywhere, not just for us. We've gotta have interoperability with the sheriff's department. We gotta be able to talk to them, and they gotta be able to talk to us. And one of the issues, again, comes down to paying for it. How do we pay for it? So, we're looking at some options with that. We're looking at some grant stuff. Me and the sheriff are gonna meet with some state legislation and meet with some of our representatives to see what we can do about money. And we're gonna go with the absolute best system that we feel like will work for us. And that's what it really comes down to is, what can we afford, how can we pay for it, and what's gonna work for us? Everywhere. It needs to be everywhere. Y'all know that the radio system we currently have has kinda gotten to where it used to be kinda funny that it didn't work, and now it's gotten kinda dangerous. I do know what y'all talked about a minute ago, there was a couple things found wrong with the console. They were working on that a week ago or so to see if that helped anything, but I hadn't heard anything back on that. But there were some flaws in the console at dispatch. So they were working on trying to get that repaired, but I don't know how the radio is right now. So, bear with us on that. I know that is a priority, not only for me, but also for the sheriff's department and for county council. They're looking at ways to put that at the top of the list. So I hope that that's gonna be a new thing here in the future. So just bear with us. I'll keep you updated as we move on. If there's anything you need, let me know. I know we're in a new budget year and I walked into it, so I didn't have a whole lot with the budget. I'm kind of inheriting what was already done, but if there's anything that we can do, anything that you need, all you gotta do is ask me and we'll work on that. I do have, and I'll mention this, somebody can let me know. We do have a dual axle trailer that's available right now for one of the rescue squads. If somebody needs one for rehab or something, if you'll get with me and let me know, it has been made available this week. And I want to offer it to the rescue squads first as a rehab trailer if somebody doesn't have one. And it is available. So if anybody needs one, please let me know so we can work on getting that to you. Now it'll be up to you to, get it outfitted and all, but I do have a trailer available. So I want to make sure y'all knew about that tonight. So if there's anything you need with that, let me know. Somebody give me a holler or send me a message or something, and we'll work on getting that to you. And if you don't need it, we'll figure out something with it, but it is a nice dual axle trailer. So, but thank y'all again for letting me come tonight. Like I said, just 2 weeks in and I've got a ton of stuff on my plate. Just bear with me a little bit. But if you got any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll get back with you. So, and I appreciate everything. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I mean, the rescue squads are really running a lot of calls right now. There are some things in the works looking at the call volume and how can we work on that. I'll cover that briefly, but I know years ago, some of y'all that were here, we didn't run the calls we run today. And somewhere we started running the calls that we probably shouldn't be running some now. So we're gonna work on seeing if we can get that consolidated back down. We just have to have some meetings with some other folks to try to get that consolidated back down, but there's a number of calls that we run today that we probably need to figure out what's best in the best interest of everybody. So, but bear with me on that. We're working on that too. So that's where the hospital needs to be involved, and we need to have some good conversations with them. But a lot of calls. The county's growing every day, and the call volume has just gone up and up and up over the years. So we've all seen it. We've all felt it. We're all getting up in the middle of the night, weekends, and everything else. So. But just keep doing what you're doing. Proud of you and appreciate everything you do for the citizens of Oconee County. They couldn't make it without you. So
Thanks and welcome.
yeah, thank you.
I think things will quiet down in about a year or so.
Yeah, maybe they will.
All right, run report. Like I was saying, busy, April was busy, and looking at our spreadsheet of how we're doing, success rates, there's not a bit of yellow on it. Rescue One's making 96% of the calls. Salem, 100% of the calls. Oakway's 84% of the calls. Walhalla is still working on with minimum membership. 53% of their calls. Westminster Rescue, 91% of their calls. Mountain Rest, 82% of the calls. Kiowee, 72% of the calls. Dive team and special rescue both made 100% of theirs. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, you said Walhalla's running with minimum staffing essentially?
Well, running members, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a core of 5 that's running calls right now.
Is there anything that we can do from our perspective to increase that, or
We're
how
gonna-
can we get more people involved
looking
with
at-
Walhalla?
We're looking at being able to do some, I know it was projected in the budget, possibly doing a retention kind of stuff to get more people involved, or recruitment and retention. So hopefully that's made it through the budget.
And that would benefit everybody.
Yeah. It seems that Mountain Rest has made a really big turnaround, so whatever you guys did for them, maybe that would work for Walhalla. I don't know exactly what happened there, but it looks like they've started to pick up their calls again. Or is it,
That was basically a rescue squad. They had majority of their running members relocate. So the squad was kind of defunct, and some members of the fire who were not as active in rescue have become active on rescue.
okay. So that's helped them make their calls?
Yes. And it's still, like, if you look back last month, they were lower, but that was because of a lot of daytime calls, where the responders are at work. Anybody else? All right. Red NMX software, responder update. We're working on the upgrades to all that stuff. They're looking into the, more add-ons to the AVL, being able to do the reports on your phones and the AVLs. Haven't got to the part where we can do a, modified PCR on it yet. So that's being looked at and worked on. Some things that we wanna add and can't add, like we're talking about the number of calls that we run that are pertaining to lift assist, to get a better handle on that data. Once you hit the lift assist, it'll be a drop-down box under custom on the bottom of the page where you can list what type of lift assist this was. Was it an emergent lift assist where somebody actually fell and needed assistance up? Was it what we would call a comfort move, where a family member called because they're unable to move a person from a wheelchair to the toilet or to the bed? So that would be a comfort move. You would have a lift assist at a staff nursing facility, so we can kind of, or a care home, where they have residential care, supposed to be taking care of them, but we're being called to lift assist there. And then the other one would be classifying them, which is just EMS needs us to help lift somebody into the ambulance or into a home. So classifying and breaking it down to see what type and how to quantify the lift assist, and what are really emergent and what are not. Anybody have any questions on
Yeah,
that?
I think that type of data will be hugely helpful. And I don't know if it'll actually resolve the problem, but it'll be a tool that we could use moving forward. One of the challenges that we have, and I think it's because of, we're Seneca-based, is urgent care, responding to urgent cares and if we could scrub some of those out, there's more than qualified healthcare professionals there. And I'm not sure if it gets chopped up in dispatch type thing, but generally speaking, when we get there, they're like, well, we just need an ambulance, and that's really what they need.
Right.
So to limit some of those, and it seemed like when we started, we didn't go to nursing home for, an actual emergent type calls as often as we do now. It seems like that's fairly common.
And it's because the level of care at some of these facilities.
Yeah. Whether or not they have RNs versus.
Yes.
Okay,
And that would be a Prisma dispatch call,
gotcha.
along with the as responders. There has been several calls, if you're monitoring the calls, and I had a conversation with Prisma dispatch and also our dispatch about it, to where a lift assist was dispatched. However, when you looked at the notes, it said there was injuries due to a fall. Not that they're falling and can't get up, is that they possibly had a fracture or some other kind of injury, which if you get it as a lift assist, that's a non-emergent, usually request, all right? Whereas when you start digging into the notes is when you see, oh, actually, somebody may have a fracture. So that becomes an emergent, a priority one. So we're working on that. And like I said, I can, without, if you see some of those come across, shoot me a text. I look at pretty much 99% of the calls, but sometimes I may miss that initial dispatch, what it went out as.
I have seen in some of the CAD notes where it'll say dispatcher's not requested, then we'll get requested, and it turns out that EMS crew on scene or a responding unit has some awareness of, hey, why don't you start responders, we're gonna need a hand.
Right.
That's fine, I mean, that's what we're here for.
But that's how we could on that extra drop-down menu, be able to classify that as assisting EMS.
Okay, thank you.
Just a request when you kind of define what the different lift assists are, if we could get something in writing to help people do the reports.
Yes. All right. Training, I handed everybody out the training schedule that Lieutenant Honeycutt puts out. Not really much changes from last time, other than we do have a VFIS, the classroom portion of the driving, VFIS, emergency vehicle driver, starting Tuesday night. Be 2 night classes at headquarters. Currently, we have 13 people signed up. Still working out the dates for the driving, just due to the fact that I'm not gonna make all 13 people show up the same day to do the driving and sit there and watch everybody go through the course, because you can only do one at a time, usually, depending on the space. So we're gonna set that up at a different date, and it'll be assigned us time to come take the driving portion of that course. Also, we have an EMR class starting, nighttime, June the 9th. It'll run for, I think, 12 sessions, on a Tuesday, Thursday basis. And we have currently 9 in it.
You said the VFIS class starts this coming Tuesday?
Yes.
Does it still have, can people still enroll in it?
Yes. I need the name and email. Dan was given info.
6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
That's what I'm shooting for. Maybe a little bit earlier tonight. I haven't taught the new ones. I've been going through trying to do a time on how long it takes to do the slides, but it's scheduled for 8 hours.
You said it's scheduled for 8 hours, but it's 6 to 10?
2 nights.
Oh, 2 nights, sorry. My bad.
No other questions? Moving on to the new vehicle update. Salem has, I think, found a vendor for the finish out theirs. They're putting a topper and a pull-out on it. Closing the bed, keep the equipment they want to keep in the bed of utility out of the weather. The Oakway F-150 was in the shop as of Tuesday, and they started putting the lighting and all the installs on that for emergency lighting. And for current videos, we would have to wait on what the budget finally passes. So, not sure what 26, 27 holds. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mike. Okay, rescue squad updates. Region 1, Scott Shear.
Okay, thank you. We talked about the rescue repeater already, so I'll spare that again. If I looked at a calendar correctly, this was National EMS Week. Did the county do anything for us or first responders this week, or any special recognition? Maybe a thank you or anything? First
Thank
responder.
you.
Okay, that's what I thought. Is that something that we can maybe look at moving forward? You know, just a, hey.
What the county council did last week, if it's a national, if I remember correctly what they said, if it's a national recognized week, they don't do the proclamations.
Okay.
I can find out and make sure to get that in writing for you.
I know that we struggle with retention and recognizing people. I think that just might be something good moving forward. And I clearly recognize that you guys are in, I refer to it as octopus mode, trying to do 800 things at one time, and things like this get missed easy. But if it's something that we can maybe look at moving forward, or maybe the commission could help, the rescue commission could help out with. But, in years moving forward, I think that would be helpful.
Scott, what do you propose for, what would that look like?
I'm really not sure.
So you can get proclamations on national, on NAMT, to send to clerks of council and whatnot, I believe, or at least something to get out there.
Yeah, at least a thank you or something, or just a public, hey, we recognize, and appreciate what you're doing.
If it's the Rescue Chiefs Association wants to do something, there's always, unfortunately, there's always next year, but I believe that can be done.
We just need to keep it on our radar for
Yeah.
next year if we wanna do something. And then what do we want that to look like? Is it gonna be something where we have like a tent where people come and, I don't know, like you give out stuff, or I'm not exactly sure what that would look like.
I would agree with you. I don't know what that looks like either. Maybe it's something that we could discuss a little bit ahead.
You look at any other county and stuff like that, and, and lots of counties do stuff. But it's like grilling hamburgers, hot dogs, or like.
Yeah.
Do a fun day.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was part of the,
Like a little family day or something on a Saturday
Yeah,
at
yeah.
High Falls or something like that.
Have a cornhole tournament, softball game against the rescue squad, do something fun like that.
It
Yeah,
might
that'd be
also be a
awesome.
good time to do some recruitment. Hey, it's National EMS Week, we have a volunteer rescue squad.
I mean, I think that would be awesome for, yeah, especially for recruitment too.
Yeah.
And, people's kids can come out and see what that looks like.
Yeah. So I think it's just an opportunity that we missed.
well, that's,
To Richie's point
that
from Tuesday, it would bring the family back, I think.
it was proposed to add back to the budget.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't know if it went through and
If you do a fun day though, you make it just take a little bit of money from here, there, and yonder.
Yeah, burgers and dogs, and like you said,
We get a rec field.
Well, each squad could pitch in some money, I would think we could
Yeah.
figure out something like that too.
yeah.
I'm sure everybody would be on board.
Yeah, Saturday would be great, just, and maybe have a little bit of recruitment but anything would be better than what we did apparently this year. So I think it was just an opportunity we missed.
So let's keep that on our radar for next year then.
Mr. Secretary, is that something that we could add to maybe the summertime, or spring, well, I guess springtime, into our agenda of, hey, this is coming up? I think maybe
I
about
would-
2 months out.
I
2 or 3
would
months
start planning it in March, 1st of March.
Yeah, you need
I would start talking about it,
out. March meeting?
I would start talking about the Rescue Squad Advisory Commission meeting in February. And I would start the planning process to get everything done in March. That way, when the EMS week comes, everything's gonna be done.
All right.
And that way you're not scrambling all, you have a good
Well-
3 months to plan for it.
You also, if you want the rescue squads to put in money to fund it, you want them to be able to bring that to their business meeting and vote on it, so.
So, if that's something we could add to the February meeting. Thank you, sir. And last month, I had talked some about training and potentially recruitment. I'd asked about HR, potentially posting a volunteer job posting, or just have like a continuous. Was there any, I think that was supposed to go to the public safety. Did we turn anything over to them in writing, or was it just a verbal?
That was part of our report.
It was more of a verbal report out, he reported it out.
So is that something,
I don't think it was brought up.
yeah, I don't.
You didn't bring
was
that
it?
to public safety meeting, did you?
It was discussed, yeah. But I think that we could send something to the members of the Public Safety Committee
That-
in writing.
And I guess I'll just ask Richie or Mike or Smitty, is that something that we need to do? What's the best way for us to look to do that, to push that forward?
Billy Gibson, they do it over there for their volunteer firefighters, so we'll put on that list of stuff to discuss with him.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to him.
Yeah, have some sort of like volunteer continuous posting type thing.
See what some other folks are doing.
Okay. And also I had asked, again, I don't know if it's possible or not, but for HR to do some sort of exit survey. I know it was one of the things that you had mentioned where staff is leaving, particularly if we could do something with volunteer or do a sampling of volunteers that leave. And this way we could find out what the problem, and hey, if somebody's got to relocate for work or has a family issue or something, that's fine. If it's something that we're doing or that we could fix, then that would be on us, or things that we could keep an eye out for.
Figure out who to run it through, but yeah.
Okay.
It could just be somebody, on the rescue side that is an exit person that,
Yeah, yeah, okay. And that's it for me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just have a quick kind of comment on that, and I don't mean to derail or anything, but so Mr. Zahn, mentioned that at the meeting as far as the report out, but I don't know that it was necessarily grasped by the council members that were there, so is there something that we can do better to where it gets addressed by them, where they either have a comment on it or an action item from it? Like, is there, like, you obviously mentioned it, there was, and it's only been 2 days, but there was no comment or no action from it, so like, if we have something that we're bringing to the council members, is there a way that we can make sure that they hear us, or, does that make sense what I'm saying?
I think it would be a good idea if we had follow-up communications with each member of the committee, especially the ones that weren't there, to highlight the things that we felt important that need further consideration and action.
Yeah.
When Brady gets back on Monday, I'll go over that with him and we'll come up with something.
Yeah, I think there's gotta be maybe a little bit better way to report out and make sure that the things that we find important to be actually addressed instead of them, maybe they thought we were just telling them something, or telling them like a story kind of thing, like, oh, these things happened. And you know what I mean? Like, maybe they just thought that we were asking.
Yeah, it wasn't as much more of a, what do you mean?
I think we were trying to do what it said in the requirements, the county requirements, as far as a report, quarterly report.
Right.
It doesn't say quarterly report with feedback,
Right.
So
And I think you did a great job.
No, I do, yes, I do too,
Yeah,
I think
by
it was
all
fine.
means.
I don't think that
Just looking
there-
for closure on the items.
Yeah.
maybe Mike can help us push us in the right direction there.
I know Rescue 3 is anxious, waiting for their new vehicle. I guess it's been in for a few months now. And I don't have any other comments. I think I talked enough already, so.
Okay. Okay. Region 2 doesn't have anyone here tonight. Do you know of anything, Zach or Mike?
Talking with Chief Neighbors, they're gonna hold their own VFIS class there at Salem and use their trained instructors.
This goes back to, this involves dive as well, but for Salem, they've got 5 folks signed up to do a open water dive class. And they're discussing the dates and stuff like that now, but they have 5 folks signed up for that. So they're maintaining right now, they're doing pretty well. Yeah, so, I actually went up with them Saturday to Fall Creek. Disclaimer, that's the first time I've ever been there by land, so I feel embarrassed. But it was a great turnout up there for them. It was good to see their new folks and their older folks kind of coming together to do boat rescue calls. That's it.
Don't they have a new boat going into operation on Joe Cassie?
It's a county boat.
Right.
It's emergency management's gonna have it, but it's gonna be temporarily located right there at the outpost or whatever. It's like a little gas station right before you get to Devil's Fork. But we're working on a more permanent place after that.
Like maybe in the water? or something?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, but it will be stationed on Jocassee.
That's great. It sure will help.
Is that part of the grant that we got from Duke Energy? Did we get a grant?
No, I believe that was, what was it, ATAX, or it was ATAX funding?
Okay. Region 3. Rescue 4, we're struggling to get more members. We recently did buy a response vehicle that seems to be working very well. And Rescue 5, we've found a way to pick up our responses quite well, and we need more members there too. We're working on that. Region 4, Christie?
So along with the theme of recruitment, we're in the process of trying to up our numbers. So our latest effort is we retook our group picture. We made kind of a flyer and we started reaching out to neighborhood organizations, try to disperse the word that way. We're holding an info session on June 3rd for people who want to know more. And then along, not just with recruiting, but we're also taking a better look at how do we vet people to make sure that we have a good fit from the start. So if anybody has any good ideas about that, let me know. But we're just now taking a look at making sure that we're setting out the right expectations, that we're appealing to the right people so that we don't invest a lot of time into training unless it's going to be like that right match. So that's our effort. Another challenge for us is upping our day response. So an effort we did this last month was we made a competition between 2 teams to see who could get the most day responders out. I don't know that, you can't really see it in our numbers right now, but I felt like we got different faces responding to calls. So I considered that one successful attempt in that direction. And then lastly, we've been looking at trying to get a website up, and ultimately I think we're going to try to build our own within our rescue squad. So we will see how far our talent stretches, but we're afraid of putting our data into any contract that could end. And I don't know, Mike, if you've had any progress with Responder and looking at getting branches to do separate websites, but since we're unsure about that option, this is the direction we feel like we need to be moving.
Responder app, they can make changes. However, there's gonna be a cost associated with the Responder app, and we gotta dig deeper into how much. But right now, it would be not feasible until next budget year.
Okay. And I have at least one bid on somebody in the community building website for us, so we can compare the costs when we get to that point. And that's it.
Okay. Region 5, Amber?
All right, so for the dive team Rescue 7, we have a newly appointed chief, Mr. Dan Picott, which we will, we plan to vote on him at our Tuesday night meeting. We also have open water class in our open water diver course in July. Do we have a date for that yet?
I'm working on this still
Okay,
with the initial, I do have an instructor and a backup.
okay.
It's just working on some dates in mid-June to early July for that.
We also are planning on having a CPR first aid course coming up. Rapid entry training is also coming up in June. I believe that's June 2nd through the 4th.
Yes.
I didn't see them listed on our sheet here, but from what I understand, we have ICS 300 and 400. I believe ICS 300 is in May and then ICS 400 in June. And as far as I'm aware, it's still online. We have some mentors that are planning on taking that class, or those classes. We had some regulators that were, serviced, and now they're back in service. We are looking to, potentially sell our hog regulators through the government website. Zach's looking into that. Because we're moving towards all Scuba Pro. It's just gonna make things much more streamlined to have all the same, manufacturer. We also, let's see, sorry. We also voted in, a new lieutenant, which was, Mr. Louis Oliva. I think that's it for Doug. For Special Rescue, Rescue 8, the Palmetto dust-off training went really well. We also have the large animal class that's going on, that went on yesterday and today. I haven't heard,
It was
any,
postponed.
I think it was canceled.
oh, okay.
I'm glad you know it went well, though.
Well, I said, I don't know if it went well or not, but
It is postponed for later this year.
postponed, okay. We also have, along with the quick rig, or the rapid entry training, we have the quick rig, training and swim test and dive skills that will also be available at that, get together at High Falls. We also have 3 new members interested in Special Rescue that will be voted on Tuesday night. And that is all I have for Special Rescue.
Okay. Zach?
Nothing that has already not been covered.
Okay. And I assume we don't have anything? Yes, sir.
Steve, I'm sorry, I had one item, future projects I had down on there. Is it okay if I talk about that now, or?
I'm sorry, sure.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I almost forgot about it.
I don't mean to skip you.
Again, I've had some windshield time, so I've been doing some thinking. Is there maybe one thing that the group wants to do collectively? I can have it across as many squads as possible, recognizing that, you know, maybe equipment-based, training-based, and one of the examples that I thought of was, I always worry a lot about our squad members, you know, safety-wise. So something that I think is important would be make sure that we have 2 life jackets, some sort of throw device on all of our responding vehicles, you know, so we could look out for ourselves and look out for others. I don't know if we have that right now. And again, it's just an example, so make sure, you know, see if we can find some sort of funding stream for that to take care of it. I don't think it's a huge amount of money on the front side, and then have some sort of awareness or actual physical training on how to, you know, working in and around the waterfront area or at the water's edge, safety-based. It's not something that we generally talk about in EMR class. It's something that's picked up over time. And that's just one example. I'm sure we could think of other examples. Would that be something that the group's interested in doing? Maybe if we were to, and I don't think we need to have it for today, but for next meeting, have 1 or 2 things that you would like to see us work on collectively as a group moving forward? Is that?
Could you specify, like, could you give us better parameters about what you mean? Are you talking about training? Are you talking about equipment? Are you just talking about
Yes.
a couple things? Okay, so a couple things that we think would make our squad more successful or satisfied.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if I didn't explain it well.
Okay.
Does that seem like something that we could do for next meeting? Come back with 1 or 2 things and then we could kind of pick, hopefully we'll have something that we pick together, you know, and could work on potentially and say maybe within a year or so from now, we could say, hey, we at least accomplished this one thing and we're better for it. So, I believe that's it for me.
Is that it now, Scott?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Skippy. Anyway, there's nothing that I know of for executive session. And if that is true, it's time to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Raise your right hand. Opposed?